Welcome to Hi Channel. In the last episode, we headed to Fairbanks and visited the North Pole, famous for its year-round Christmas decorations. We took a photo with Santa Claus and his North American reindeer, and embarked on an unforgettable Riverboat Discovery sternwheeler along the Chena River. We were thrilled by a floatplane pilot's landing and takeoff demonstrations and watched Susan Butcher Iditarod champion sled dogs in action. Today, we continue our journey with a guided tour of an authentic Alaska native village, spending time with the local community and understanding their lifestyle.
A nickname? Slowberians? Don't tell any Siberian mushers I said that. But even though Siberian mushers will admit that their dogs just aren't going to be able to compete with the Alaskan Huskies, and they're going to tell you all the reasons why their Siberians are better than Alaskan Huskies. They're better at going slower. They're better at pacing themselves. They have tougher feet. Their feet are just simply better than Alaskan Huskies' feet. They oftentimes won't have to booty. They have thicker hair coats, so they don't have to put as much jackets on them or whatever. Yeah, Siberians are neat, but they're definitely the minority, and you're not going to see a Siberian team win the race anytime soon, at least. Samoyeds? No, I've never seen a Samoyed team. I've heard of a Samoyed. Somebody's got mushing racing Samoyeds on the East Coast. Yeah, that'd be so cool to see, but I haven't seen any here. Nice. Yeah, they're gorgeous dogs. When do I expect to win? Well, it took Susan 8 times before she won her first one. And she had help along the trail. Back then, you could have somebody at the checkpoint to massage.
The hides were particularly useful for clothing. She'd start by taking the sharpened shin bones from a moose and a caribou and scraping off all the flesh and hair. That would leave her with a stiff piece of material called rawhide. Rawhide is most useful when cut into thin pieces called babiche. Babiche is used as an all-purpose rope or lashing to tie together structures or web together snowshoes. But you can probably tell that this material is much too stiff for clothing. So the next step in the tanning process is to soak this in a solution of fermented moose brain and water. That milky fluid has acidic enzymes that would break down the tough fibers in the rawhide. Then she'd take a tool like this calabash. It's similar to the Eskimo ulu, except it has a serrated edge, and she'd use it to scrape the rawhide. And after days or even weeks of soaking, wringing, and scraping, she'd be left with a soft piece of material like this.
After all that hard work, the women wanted to preserve this hide, so she would stretch it over the campfire and smoke it. So you can always tell a traditional native tanned hide by the rich smoky smell and also the tan color. And now I'd like to share with you some garments that were made out of the traditional tanning process that Danae just explained. This first one is a ceremonial maiden's dress. And the second one is a ceremonial chief's coat.
Nice.
We didn't get the beads until the late 1800s when Westerners traded them for our fur bell and our state flower, the forget-me-not, in her village. The flower designs that are on the chief's coat would represent animal tracks, and his wife would sew this onto his coat and hope to bring her hunter good luck on his hunt. The large one represents the wolf track, the middle one represents the lynx, and the smallest one represents the rabbit track. Both of these garments are also trimmed with beaver fur. The smaller buttons that are on the maiden's dress are made out of cross-sections of caribou antler, and the larger buttons that are on the chief's coat are made out of cross-sections of moose antler. But I'm sure you're really going to like this next piece. What's the sunshine ruff? I'm sure you can see why we call this the sunshine ruff. It does, and she would sew these onto her parka to show off that her man was a skilled trapper and he caught the tricky wolverine. And now she's going to turn around and show us the back. These designs would be passed down mother to daughter. belong to just by looking at the designs on the back of her parka. Thank you, Danae.
Nomadic culture and settle into more permanent villages like this one. The cabin that you see here in front of you is what a traditional Athabascan cabin would look like. It is made entirely off of resources found on this site, just as it would have flat across the top, followed by a layer of waterproof birch bark placed on like shingles, and then topped with a layer of sod. Now, the grass does look a little silly growing on the roof in an Alaskan winter. Alright, so I get to stay here all by myself. The rest of you can come visit me in January, but you have to share a guest cabin, which is over there on your left. Just kidding. That's actually called a trapper's cabin. They're built about a day's journey apart on a winter trap line and allowed a hunter to safely extend his journey and travel far away. 1 tell means you're single, 2 tells means you're married, 3 tells means you're married, but you really wish you were single. I'm sure the ladies will recognize this one.
Yes.
This is the mink. It might surprise you to know the Athabascans did not value the mink. Its fur was too short and thin, so while it was very soft, it wouldn't keep anyone warm in the wintertime. So the pelts were often given to little kids, usually young girls, to practice their skin sewing skills. After Western contact, though, we quickly changed our mind. Now it's called the money pelt. Now this last fur I have to share with you is a beaver. They have 2 layers of fur. A thick downy undercoat and then long guard hairs on the top. This makes them warm and water resistant. So they're nice to make into hats, gloves, or moccasins. We call them muklaks. Beaver meat is also a delicacy, especially beaver tail, and is often served to our elders. Elders are highly respected in our culture, so at any gathering like a potlatch, they're always served first. So by the time they get to me as a youngster, all that's ever left is potato salad on the roof in order to slow the herd down and then funnel them into a smaller area where an individual could be more easily harvested. Another advantage that the Athabascans gained over these large game animals were with snowshoes. Snowshoes allowed a group of Athabascan hunters to easily outmaneuver a solitary moose or caribou in deep snow conditions. They're made with steamed and bent birchwood, tied together with babiche, and a moose hide strap for the binding. Now, the hunting of these large animals provided the Athabascan people with nearly everything they needed to survive. The meat, bones, even some liquids were used. Nothing was ever wasted. A highly valuable resource from the caribou is the caribou hide. Each hair is hollow, which traps air inside and around it, making it very lightweight and exceptionally warm. So, if you look inside the structures here and some of the cabins in the village, you'll notice that each bed is made by laying down a layer of spruce boughs topped with the caribou hide. And this made for a warm, lightweight, and most importantly, a portable mattress. Now, this was important because the Athabascans were nomadic. Like I said, they followed their food and moved 8 or 9 times a year. So it was important that their valuables were portable and they could take them with them. That's why these structures here are much more temporary than any of the cabins in the village. The first dome-like structure here is a caribou skin hut. This is made with steamed and bent spruce poles for the frame, and the outside is struck with caribou hides. The hole left at the top is so if they started a fire on the inside, the smoke could escape. When it was time to move on, all the caribou hides would be packed up and taken with them because they're much too valuable to leave behind. So we like to call this the world's first mobile home. On the far side is a double lean-to. The Athabascan hunters would often use these because they were going to share with you. This canoe was made with steamed and bent spruce wood for the ribbing. The outside is birch bark, of course, and it's all sewn together with split spruce roots. The black resin that you see along the seam is a mixture of animal fat, tree sap, and caribou hair. This water seals the canoe. Can everyone hear me okay over the plane? Alright. This canoe could hold about 200 all their camping gear and hopefully a hind leg or two from a successful hunting trip. And what Mama would do is place moss or rabbit fur in the bottom, strap little one in with the cute moose hide straps, set him on her back, and go about her day. And then one baby did what babies are known to do best. Mom took little one out, dumped the solid contents on the ground, and started all over again. So here we have the world's first eco-friendly, biodegradable, and disposable baby diaper.
Our adventure continued with the Gold Dredge 8 historic train tour, where we enjoyed a scenic ride on the Tanana Valley Railroad.
Since I don't know when, but I'm stuck in Folsom River, and time keeps dragging on.
After our Gold Rush experience, we took a closer look at the famous Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, marveling at this engineering feat. In the evening, we visited the University of Alaska Museum, home to an impressive taxidermy collection that gave us a glimpse into the diverse wildlife of the region. Then headed to Chena Hot Springs Resort, where we set up camp. The highlight of the evening was soaking in the hot springs and watching the mesmerizing aurora borealis dance across the night sky. After these amazing experiences, we began our journey back to Anchorage. The 6-hour drive was split over 2 days, allowing us to explore missed viewpoints along the way. We spent a night at Trapper Creek, enjoying the peaceful Alaskan wilderness. On the afternoon of our final day, we arrived back in Anchorage, returned our RV, and concluded our 16-day Alaskan adventure. It was a journey filled with wonder, natural beauty, and unforgettable memories. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Alaska. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Hi channel for more exciting travel adventures. Until next time, keep exploring.